Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrological soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of July 19th, where this week in the sky, we've got a lot of moving parts happening. So energy will definitely be shifting, and I think you will be feeling the impact of all of it. Now, we're also going to have the sun enter into the energy of Leo. Venus is going to enter into the energy of Virgo. And when we have personal planets that shift like that, we feel that a lot more intensely. So let's get in here and talk about what is going on this week. So right as we're coming into the week, we get to the 20th and we're going to see Mercury and Uranus in a sextile to each other. Now, when the planets have sex, that's good for us because it creates not only a pocket of opportunity, but we intelligently take action on the opportunity that has been presented. Now we'll see Mercury over here in the energy of Cancer. We will see Uranus, of course, here in very practical Tauran energy, and they will meet their sextile at 14 degrees. So make sure you're checking out those degrees and those signs in your personal chart. And if you don't have a chart, of course, either pull one on astro.com, order one from me, go to your favorite astrologer, whatever that looks like, but look where it's happening for you personally, because what it's bringing is tidings of good news, surprising information, new discoveries. Maybe it's a day between, Cancer and Taurus. You want to grab a meal with somebody and you want to share information with them. But whatever is happening, there is a new discovery energy available in things that are happening in those particular areas for you. So you definitely want to check out the housing areas that this is happening into. I can tell you for me, it's between my 11th and 9th houses. So I cannot wait to see what presents itself, okay? On the 21st, we're going to see Venus enter into the energy of Virgo. Now, I know, man, oh man, Venus gets a rough rap when it's in the energy of Virgo because Venus has to tighten it up a little bit when she's in Virgo's space. Virgo wants discernment, wants to hone in on what is good, what's working, what's sacred, what is a part of the pattern and what's not, and Venus just wants to love everything. So it can be an energy that feels a little bit complicated, and I will tell you straight out, in low vibration, what Venus and Virgo can look like, act like, feel like is very critical of yourself, very critical of other people. There is a lot of judgment that is not discernment. It is simply being overly analytical. It can also look like analysis paralysis in our love lives, with our finances, in making these decisions about what is balanced in our daily routines and our health and our mental wellness. But a really beautiful, positive expression of Venus in Virgo is a desire to help others. Now, Venus in Virgo does get caught up in the full moon that we'll be having this week, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But in this position, as Venus is full force moved here into the energy of Virgo, a desire to serve, a desire to see the sacred in everyday things will be absolutely pronounced. So again, locate the Virgo energy 0 degrees on your chart so you can see where Venus is bringing her little blessings. I'm a 3-degree Virgo rising. I can't wait to be cute. I hope that that's what Venus is bringing around for me this week. So Virgo risings, it's our time. Okay, on the 22nd, now the sun is going to enter into the energy of Leo. So big hair, don't care. Happy birthday, Leos. Happy, happy, happy birthday. As the sun comes home, it's in the energy of Leo. The Leo energies and the Leo portions of our chart are going to have their annual celebration. The sun brings light, heat, life, vitality. We're motivated in this area, and it's to Leo. Have a big heart. Express, be the center of attention. A little drama is good for us from here to there, right? Leo, what they understand at an evolutionary level is that you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to take that big piece of your heart that is fun and full and joyful and exciting and take a risk to put yourself out there, whether it's in love or on the stage or at the sporting rink, whatever it is. Your courage has been kind of rallied up here as we get to the 22nd. Now, we're also going to see Venus, who's just moved into the energy of Virgo, in an opposition to Jupiter, who's here in Pisces. They will meet this opposition at exactly 1 degree, okay? Now, Venus and Jupiter are both our benefic planets, our big benefic and our little benefic, right? But when they are in opposition to each other, one of the things that can feel like is I really want to go out. I really want to socialize. I really want to I have this desire for something that makes me feel good, but I can't seem to put my finger on what it is. Now, not to mention that Venus is direct, Jupiter is retrograde. So truly, you could find yourself going back to something that Jupiter has recently brought to your attention. Now think back between May and this particular timing, between May and this particular date. I want you to think about in Pisces areas of your chart, what has Jupiter brought your attention to? It would have made it really big, or it would have expanded it out in some way, made it bigger, like it's like testing your horizons, and it's with new glasses, new goggles, because Jupiter would have just come in to the energy of Pisces, and then it starts to retrograde. So what did Jupiter bring to your attention? It could even be philosophical, legal things could have presented themselves in your Piscean area. I know for me, Jupiter entered into Piscean area, which rules my 7th house, and my husband and I started to travel. Things got bigger, and then it came back during the retrograde. So what's happening for you? Because Venus opposing Jupiter here at this time may be making you feel like you also need to go back to something, and you're torn. You're in opposition. You're going in one direction. You feel like this is the critical thing over here. This is the everything's okay over here. Integrate the two sides of an opposition. That is the way that you resolve an opposition. Find the compromise between your Virgo and Piscean areas of your chart this week, okay? Now, I would tell you too, because they are our pleasure planets, and they are not necessarily, they don't love to be in an opposition, but if you can have a lower key day this day, or you can give people around you a lot of grace to realize everybody's under these transits, it may make your day a little bit easier, okay? Now, as we get to the 23rd, we walk ourselves into the full moon in Aquarius. This one's going to be at 1 degree, and we will get our once in a blue moon, because next month we're also going to have a moon at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So we'll get into that next month too. But we're going to have this full moon, which says we need to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment. All the lights are on so we can see it. What we're looking at, what's being presented to us, it is what it is. It may bring an emotional side up from us. This is also an energy where we see that this moon is quincunx to Venus's energy. So by its very nature, it's Aquarian energy. So it's already not always the most emotional energy. It's an air moon. So this is thinking. It spotlights a lot of our thinking, a lot of our things around social energies, our long-range plans, goals, designs, who and what are we connected to? Do I feel like in my profession or what I'm doing in public, I'm receiving the love and attention that I would like to be spotlighting myself? Social media, all of those things fall into the 11th house Aquarian realm. Okay, so as we're having this full moon here, if you feel like you've got these questions about your value, and you can't quite get to it, is what it would feel like. I feel like I'm doing the right things, but there's this piece of me that it's not hitting the mark, right? So it can actually feel like under a quincunx, and Rick Levine talks about this, so you can look in the playlist and find all the Rick Levine videos where he's talking about the quincunx. But we're always trying to like hit the mark and get it just right, but it's like an itchy tag because I just can't quite get there. So at this particular moon, you may find that around your relationship, around matters of value, around matters in your daily routine, you can feel like you're just not quite as tied in as you'd like to be, or it will show you where you just don't belong anymore, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Now, we've also got Saturn and Pluto in the mix. They're there in that Capricorn energy, and they are just right there as this moon is happening. So it creates just a tight energy, almost a conjunction. I can't quite give it to them, but almost a conjuncting energy, and it is just right there, nice and tight with Saturn and Pluto. So I think that this energy in opposition to the sun, what Saturn and Pluto create is this space where it's like, the authority's on this side, and how I want to shine, how I want to be big, what's me, what's mine, what brings me joy, is actually feeling like it's under pressure from both Saturn and Pluto. So you may again need to integrate. Don't be afraid of an opposition, integrate it. Where can you find a compromise between the authority in your life and that which is changing, and the pleasure center down here, which is you and the thing that you love and you want to do? And are you aligned under this full moon with the right kind of grouping to help you to be able to do that and achieve your long-range goals and plans and designs, okay? Now, the other thing that I was thinking a lot about as we get to this full moon is that Venus and Mars spent a little jaunt here going through this Leo energy. And so I feel like they made a perfect space for this particular full moon where they really readied the sun. So I can tell you that now that Venus is in Virgo, if you have a passion for helping people, you have a passion for healing, you have a passion for patterns, astrology, come out to play. Start to make decisions that allow you to bring your practice forward in whatever way, whether you do want to see clients and people, or you just want to tell somebody at the grocery store that a Mercury retrograde is coming up. If you are feeling called out in some way, I think that Venus and Mars left a mark of passion for you, that Venus and Virgo can now, under good energy, make perfect discernment and service of that energy, okay? On the 24th, we're going to see Mercury in a trine to Neptune, who is retrograde, of course. Mercury over here in the energy of Cancer. Neptune is, of course, in Pisces, and they will have this trine at 23 degrees. Now, the trine just creates the pocket of ease or opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean you do anything with it. Sometimes it can be so good, feels so good, is so easy that you do absolutely nothing with it. But sometimes it pops open a nice little opportunity for you. So because it is a Mercury, because it is a water trine, okay? I feel like it really stimulates the creative juices, the imagination. We've just had a full moon the day before, which naturally lunar energy will tie into our emotions. So what did you see? What's happening for you that is spurring you here? You have an ease of access to those emotional undertones and undertakings. And what will you do with that? What will you create? What do you need to art? What do you need to journal? What do you need to do to express some kind of creative passion around your emotions, around your home, around bringing things to closure, around just creating something beautiful for the world to see? I think this is a wonderful energy, and you can be really, really impressive with it, okay? Now, as we're bringing the week to the close and getting ready for the last week of July, we're going to see Mercury now in an opposition to Pluto, who is also retrograde. So Mercury's running around hitting all these retrograde planets, right? He's like, wake up, what are you doing over there? So as Mercury is in opposition to this Plutonian energy, it will be between Cancer and Capricorn, of course, at 25 degrees, okay? Now, a Mercury-Pluto opposition is I'm going to want to dig. I'm digging for information, deep research, deep concentration, and we are going in two different directions. So maybe you're being presented even this day opposing information where you're like, wait, I really trust this source over here, or I feel connected to this source, but this source over here is giving me a different piece of information. Which do I trust? And again, you're going to need to compromise. You're going to need to integrate in these spaces of your life that have to do with home and work, the mother, the father, work from home, work out of home. These kinds of energies you will need to integrate and find the space in the middle. But I can also tell you, because they are so good at concentrating and deep research, if you've got to go through your finances, you've got to go through things connected to your work or your home, you will be finding some information. Pluto is retrograde, so you may be looking at something on your table that is old. It's already been there. It's not something new, but now you have a different set of eyes on it, okay? Now, I will also tell you, Pluto is an energy of power struggle, of influence, okay? So this could be a day where if you feel like somebody is power struggling with you, or you are power struggling with them, step back for a minute. Is the power struggle worth it? Are you going to prevail, right? Or do you want to be happy? You have to look at the power struggle that may be presenting itself. And if a person who is in a position of influence is telling you what to do, how to be, what to think, they're trying to push something on you, pay special attention to this and really look over the information that is being presented to you. Do that deep research on this day, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, I hope you have a brilliant week. I look forward to connecting with you next week and see what's going on. I'm excited to show you the cool wall I have behind me this week. So I look forward to bringing you much more good stuff from down here in Galveston, Texas. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.